Hi everybody, it's Patty and Steve from Tally Ho Travelers. We are currently outside of Little Rock, Arkansas, staying in a little park. It's tiny. It looks over part of the Arkansas River, which is really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, we left Natchez State Park on Sunday, and then we decided where we were going to stop at a Cracker Barrel for the overnight. And let's just say it didn't go as we thought it was going to go. We ordered a meal to go, and we didn't get what we were supposed to get. So I went back in, talked to a person. Yeah, it was bad. We talked to a person at the door. They said they'll go ahead and get a manager, so I decided to sit and wait. They asked for the manager never showed up. The guy went to look for him, said the manager will be right out, never showed up. He called for him on his microphone, and needless to say, after about 15 or 20 minutes, I decided I'm not going to do this. So I went up to the cashier and I told him, I says, whatever your manager decides to come out of hiding, you tell him he could come to me. We're in the RV parked in the back, and, they can deal with me there because I was tired of waiting. Well, nobody ever showed up. So
Well, I called, or I got in touch with the Cracker Barrel customer service line and asked them to please refund the money to our gift card because we had used a gift card. Let's see, after about a half an hour of going back and forth through their chat, the guy kept telling me it'll be put back to your account. It'll be put back to your account. So we'll see if it shows up or not. But yeah, it was a horrible experience. Let me just say, that Cracker Barrel in West Memphis, don't go. Anyway, so the next morning we ended up, which was Sunday, right?
Yes.
Or Monday morning.
Monday morning.
We drove further into Arkansas. It rained on and off during the whole drive. It wasn't bad. It wasn't pouring heavy rain. It was just enough that you couldn't figure out how you want your windshield wipers to go. It's one of those. So anyway, so we got to our campground here at about 3 o'clock and checked the weather. It's expected to rain off and on over the next couple of days, but we're kind of getting used to that. And it's also supposed to get really cold again. I mean, night temperatures in the freezing area or slightly below. We've learned how to deal with it. And thank goodness we brought our winter coats and boots and scarves and earmuffs and gloves and all that kind of stuff, because they've really come in handy. So lesson learned, always be prepared, as the Boy Scouts say.
Okay, so we went off on a little bit of a tangent. So let's get back to Natchez Trace State Park. We drove to the Shiloh National Military Park.
Yeah, I never knew that Shiloh was actually, that battle was one of the largest engagements at the beginning of the Civil War. It commemorates an action that happened between the South and the North, April 6th and 7th, 1862. And it happened around the Shiloh Church and Pittsburgh Landing. Amazing. There were more than, just these 2 days, there were more than 23,000 casualties. Like I said before, it was the largest engagement in the Mississippi Valley Campaign, and currently the park itself has over 5,200 acres, and it was established by Congress in 1894. There's your history lesson.
Now, people ask us why we go to visit Civil War sites and historical buildings or cemeteries.
The short answer, we don't want to forget our American history. We go to remind ourselves how many men, women gave their lives in the fight for freedom from slavery, and whether slavery should be permitted to expand into the Western territories, leading to more slave states. We go to honor the dead, to remember that freedom isn't free. We seek knowledge about our past, so that history isn't destined to repeat itself. During the Civil War, our country was torn in two. Sound familiar? Brother fighting against brothers, and these are things we cannot forget. It's our history. Stepping into a national cemetery is always a very solemn experience. We always feel as if those buried there are reminding us of what they lost in order that the country could gain a more civilized union. We wish them peace, and we thank them for their sacrifice.
And on the grounds of the battlefield are Indian mounds, probably built during the 12 to 1300 AD.
Since there's no records from that era, it's not clear whether or how the Shiloh residents were related to later societies like the Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Creek. But these mounds are some of the most preserved Indian mounds, and one of the very few places in the eastern United States where remains of the wattle and daub houses are still visible on the ground surface.
And so we took the dogs for a walk on a trail around the visitor center at Natchez Trace, and lo and behold, we come across Bigfoot in the woods. Lottie was growling and barking, and when we realized, it was just a laser cutout of the infamous creature.
So now that we're close to Little Rock, we hope to get into the city during the week. There's a few places we'd like to check out. MacArthur Park, before it melts in the dark. Clinton Presidential Library, at least from the outside, because we generally take the dogs. There's also Plum Bayou Mounds, which again are Indian mounds. There's a sculpture garden, Vogel Schwartz Sculpture Garden, and then possibly Rusty Tractor Vineyards if the weather decides to cooperate. If it's raining, these are all outside activities. It's hard to do inside activities with the dogs, and we really do love to share the dogs with our experiences. Why have them if you're just going to leave them locked up in an RV? So anyway, that's what's up with us.
That's all for now.
That's all for now. Until next time,
Tally
tally
ho.
ho.